This is Newcap News with Lauren Poland.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. A 21-year-old man is battling for his life after being stabbed at a Lloydminster apartment complex. It happened early Friday morning just after midnight. RCMP have arrested a 52-year-old suspect. He is appearing in court next week, facing aggravated assault charges. The victim was flown to hospital in Saskatoon for treatment. The city has approved 2 policing reports, but just because they got the go-ahead doesn't mean everyone's happy with the outcomes. Elise Cox has more.
Council approved the Municipal Police Service Agreement between the Government of Canada and the city for another 20 years, and it's similar to the one that was signed in 1992.
Pretty standard agreement. It has been for the last 20 years, and moving ahead another 20 still looks like it's a 90-10 split where 90% of costs for our size of municipality is picked up by the municipality and 10% by the government.
But as the city grows, this split no longer sits right with the mayor and his council.
He has expressed that we will provide a cover letter stating that at some point we will be making some noise to try to get more of the cost put back on the government instead of the municipality.
As it pertains to us in particular in Lloydminster, that's over $7 million in our budget, so that's a lot to the taxpayers.
To help alleviate some of these policing costs, the city approved receiving a grant from Alberta, and the mayor was disappointed from Saskatchewan's response.
It was interesting. We got a letter back from them when we said, hey, we're just applying to get our grant money for the municipal policing on the Saskatchewan side. Their answer was, well, because you moved your policing to Alberta, you don't get the funding anymore.
Back in 2009, flipped over to K Division out of Edmonton, out of Alberta, I guess. That funding dried up from the Saskatchewan government for any policing funds.
The Alberta grant only covers 6.5% of municipal policing costs, so a grant from Saskatchewan is essential to the city.
If we could also get some funds for our 10,000 Saskatchewan residents, that would really beef up our grants.
And it brings up the question of whether or not this is fair for Saskatchewan taxpayers.
Well, no, we still have X number of thousand people living on the Saskatchewan side paying taxes to you, and we're doing policing for them. Pay us the money.
So both reports are being taken on with a sign and whine attitude, and the city is hoping to be heard. Elise Cox, Newcap News.
Meantime, the city is taking action against outstanding property taxes. Officials authorized tax enforcement against 5 properties on the Alberta side of Lloydminster. The properties have unpaid taxes owing upward of $7,500 apiece.
The city collects approximately $30 million annually in property taxes shared with the school divisions and the city. And the amounts in arrears currently are approximately $25,000 in Alberta arrears. And that would be taxes from the past 3 years. The
property owners have not contacted City Hall after receiving notices back in December to make arrangements.
Legal process, if the property owners fail to make arrangements for payment of taxes, sale of the property can occur. Our experience has been that generally people will make arrangements prior to that happening.
If payment arrangements aren't made by this coming Friday, the properties can be put up for public sale, with the City of Lloydminster determining the selling price. Well, you'll soon be seeing changes on Highway 17. City Council approved new traffic lights for parts of the highway in hopes of curbing congestion. Elise Cox brings us that story.
The city has been on the receiving end of numerous complaints about the 50th Avenue and 12th Street intersection.
I get pretty regular concerns, that if you want us off Highway 16, you've got to help us get off of Highway 16.
The plan is to help move traffic around the city instead of straight through on Highway 16.
We're creating new lanes, so there'll be dedicated left and right-hand turn lanes in a through lane going northbound and southbound.
The set of lights will be helping traffic, especially big trucks, across Highway 17 instead of the stop sign that is currently in place.
This will give them the opportunity at a set of lights that controls the intersection, makes it safe.
The problem was identified years ago, but the government of Saskatchewan controlled the jurisdiction to that area.
Last year we annexed that land into the city, so we were able to put the project together.
Also included in the project is road widening and sidewalks, all within the $1.2 million budget for these improvements.
I'm delighted. I think it'll drive a lot of traffic south of the city, and I think it's just the right thing to do. So I was thrilled when management brought it. We had the funding, and we're ready to go. Construction
is set to begin this spring or early summer, and completed by August 31st. Elise Cox, Newcap News.
Gerard joins us now with our first look at weather, and it looks like spring is finally making its way back to the border city. We had a beautiful sunny day here.
Yeah, it was an enjoyable day. It wasn't, well, it wasn't all that sunny. We had some clouds building up in the afternoon kind of thing here. It's more like hazy kind of sunshine. Those clouds are holding some precipitation, mind you, but behind all of that is a warmer front, and it's looking good for the remainder of the week. Let's have a look at what we're dealing with come today. +3 our high temperature, of course, in Cold Lake and the Battleford's 6 degrees. They hit just after 2 o'clock thereabouts too, and a buildup of cloud cover, as I was mentioning, during the course of the afternoon. Notice there the winds are coming out of the south-southwest, and generally it's been that pattern for most of the day, really bringing in some of that warmer air. We've got some precipitation to deal with in terms of those clouds going into tomorrow, but the details are coming up a little later in the cast.
Coming up, an annual honor not taken lightly. The Lions Club names its Citizen of the Year. That story after the break.